They say that you are the average of the friends and company you keep. So I want us to improve our average together. I want us to become smarter, more successful, healthier, happier, and more fulfilled in our everyday lives. Think about it. The stronger we are as individuals, the more we can serve those around us. I'll be interviewing friends that happen to be experts in their field, and I invite you to join in on the conversation. So, welcome to the I Have Cool Friends podcast, a show that sparks inspirational conversations with experts about business, wellness, and personal development. Welcome back to the I Have Cool Friends podcast. I am so excited to have Katie Austin on the show today. She's a fitness entrepreneur, YouTuber, broadcaster, podcaster, blogger, influencer, and TikToker. I couldn't even get it all out without laughing. You do it all, girl.
Hi. Thank you so much for having me.
Hi. Thank you for doing this. I mean, I know you have a million things going on in your life, so to fit being a guest on somebody else's podcast means a lot to me.
No, I love it. Thank you. And I wish I could be with you in person right now. So it's weird over Zoom, but I love it.
I know. We're all just trying to do our best this year. All right. So Katie grew up as the daughter of a fitness icon, Denise Austin. So health and exercise has always been part of her life. She went to USC, unfortunately, to play lacrosse and began her career as a host of her own fitness show at College Station. Since then, she's exploded by inspiring women everywhere to get fit and live a healthy but balanced lifestyle. I personally love her spaghetti squash recipe, and I definitely encourage all of you guys to check out her other healthy options on her website. So I got to ask you first question, and I get this question a lot because I'm also multi-passionate, is what do you do? You know, you're sitting next to a stranger on the plane and you have to just like pick something. So when someone or a stranger asks you, what do you say?
Okay, I love that you asked this because I've always hated this question. I never know how to answer it because I feel like I have so many passions and so many different jobs that it's really hard to explain, especially as my main job is being like a social media influencer on TikTok, Snapchat, YouTube, and Instagram. And so to say influencer, I feel like people don't respect it as much as the hard work actually goes into it. So I usually say like a fitness and sports personality because I truly see myself more than just an influencer. Like I edit my own stuff. I do my customer service. I've, built a fitness brand as well. So it's like beyond just like the influencing and creating content. But I would say, yeah, fitness and sports personality, content creator. And it's really hard, especially because when I first graduated from college, being from DC, where everyone does finance or politics and has a real 9 to 5, I remember just starting like my Instagram and my YouTube channel and being so embarrassed when I went back home when my best friend's parents would ask me what I'm doing with my life and what my job is, and I didn't know how to explain it. So it definitely took a lot of years for people to understand what I'm doing now, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And I'm laughing because I resonate so much with that. I'm from Indiana. And so everyone has more typical jobs, I would say, than in LA. And so if you say something of like, oh, I'm doing a content shoot, or it's like, oh, you're trying to be like a model, or what are you trying to do? It's very confusing. But I do appreciate in LA, everyone is so much more open to different ways to schedule your careers, I would say.
For sure. Yeah, I'm very, very excited that like I now live in LA and being an influencer isn't as weird or taboo. And people understand that it is a career and you can make a lot of money on social media too.
Do you still get a negative connotation when you say that you're an influencer? Like, oh, another person trying to be an influencer.
Yep. I will say the one thing that I don't care about, anyone else really judging me about being an influencer. But the one thing that I always embarrass is when I meet a guy, like I'm really single right now, and they're like, what do you do? And I'm like, gosh, you're so cute. I'm about to ruin it. You're about to hate me. I'm an influencer. Hi, I'm Katie. And so I always say I'm a host. And like, it's COVID right now. I haven't hosted anything since the Pro Bowl in February or January. So I have literally not hosted in 6 months, 7 months, and I still say I'm a host because when I meet a guy, I'm embarrassed.
That's when you lead with the sports broadcaster and personality. Big sports fan.
Yeah, I went to USC for sports broadcasting. Does that count as anything?
Absolutely. Yeah. You can be whatever you want to be. They'll look you up on Instagram. They probably already know. It's fine. Well, Katie and I actually met at a mutual friend's birthday dinner. I think that's where we first met.
Yeah.
And then at that dinner, you invited me the next day to a Dodgers game. Do you remember that? And I think you were on a date.
Yes. Was I on a date? Yeah.
I thought that you were on a date.
Yes, I was on a date. It obviously didn't work out. Never talked to him beyond that day. And that's usually how my life is, like we go on one day and then it's like either I'm uninterested or he's uninterested, but that's just like dating in LA.
Yeah. And I just remember you and I had a little powwow session, like, okay, if they ask us how we know each other, we have to say we've known each other longer than 24 hours because it's super weird.
Wait, Sam, I forgot about this. You are unlocking a memory for me right now. That is so funny because like we just like bonded right away when we met. And I was like, come to the Dodgers game tomorrow. There's going to be really cute boys. I mean, yeah, just...
Exactly. But I love it because you are totally my type of girl. We're both like extroverts, former athletes in the sports broadcast, podcast world. So naturally we clicked right away and happy to be your wing woman in the future if you still need me.
That was so fun.
All right. So speaking of you being a former athlete, obviously fitness, being a former athlete is ingrained in you. But when did you know that you wanted to make it part of your career?
Very interesting question. And I get that a lot because people don't really understand the progression of how I, came from DC area to being an athlete in college and then really starting my fitness career. Because I mean, as you know, Sam, it's really, really, really hard to think about what you want to do in life when you are spending 6-7 hours a day, either getting tutored, going to classes, being, an athlete, and then on top of that, trying to have a social life in college. And so a lot of people also don't know this, but I only played lacrosse for 2 years. So I quit like mid sophomore year. And so no one really knows that because I never like to say I'm a quitter, but at the same time, I like to be open and transparent about it when people do ask, because that is how I got my career started. If I didn't quit early on, I literally would not be here today. And I truly mean that. And so I'm grateful that I did play lacrosse at USC and it gave me that opportunity to come to LA. But at the same time, it was really, really hard knowing what I wanted to do and having that fitness passion and wanting to be a sports host at the same time while playing lacrosse. So I grew up with my mom having a TV show for 25 years. My dad was a professional athlete. And so always just in the sports and fitness world growing up. And then I never really thought about it because I played lacrosse for so many years. And then once I quit lacrosse, I didn't quit until I got a sports hosting job in college. So that was like my thing. I wasn't allowed to like move on until like, okay, wait, you're good at this. You can actually do it. So for a few months there, it was pretty hard balancing everything. But I would say if you know what you want to do, just go for it. And it was like the biggest risk of my life because I played lacrosse for ever since I was 7 years old. And, being on a team was like your life in college. And so once I took that risk, it opened up so many doors for me. And I'm really just lucky that I knew what I wanted to do early on.
It's such a catch-22, right? Because playing sports and being on a team, there's really nothing like it. But for majority of college athletes, it's really a means to an end. When you graduate, you're not going to go play professional, basketball, football. And yes, there's a handful of athletes that do, and it works out for them. That's great. But I think that a lot of former athletes kind of fall into this trap of being so narrow-minded when they're playing college sports that they don't even think about the next step. So they kind of get on that island of, I don't know what to do with my life. I spent my whole life thinking about sports. So the fact that you were able to compartmentalize and think about your career after sports is really amazing.
Yeah, especially for lacrosse. I mean, for gymnastics, a little different because there is life after that and you can, go to the Olympics and stuff like that too. But for lacrosse, no offense to the sport, there's just really no afterlife. And it was just really hard to, again, have a passion while doing a day-to-day, I felt like job. I was miserable playing my sport, to be honest. And so, I was lucky to get that sports hosting show. And then I made every Wednesday, like a wellness kind of Wednesday kind of thing. I made a fitness segment. And then from there, I obviously had to do, the hard work, like be audio girl and all the stuff that I hated before actually hosting the show. But by my senior year, I hosted the show weekly. And so it was really, really a cool opportunity to kind of get my career off the ground, because USC, let me just brag about USC for a second to a Bruin over here. But USC is like very, very, the sports show was very real life. It was no better practice than actually doing the hosting at USC. It was like a local channel that actually was broadcasted to like 80,000 people, which is so cool.
That is so cool. And I will say, from a Bruin, that I am jealous of that a little bit, because I had to start my own, and it was hard not having the guidance. Whereas like you had a built-in network of an audience and people that were willing to mentor you in that space. So that's really cool that you got your start in college. Now, were you focusing on actually making an income in college, or were you kind of just wanting to get experience and engagement?
I was not making any money until my second year out of college, which hurt my heart so bad, because everyone, when we first graduated college, got 9-to-5s. They were like, going to work at agencies or really cool TV stations and making a salary. And I remember being like, wow, I am just a loser and making absolutely no money right now. And so it kind of like really hurt my ego. But I knew if I kept trying to create consistent content, especially having, not that many Instagram followers and no YouTube subscribers at all, it was really hard to keep going. But I'm super happy that I did. And it paid off. After a year after college, I started getting like brand deals and sponsorships, and people actually started paying for my workouts, which was so cool. So it took so much patience to get there. And so if anyone's listening to this right now, don't give up on being a content creator. If you are not seeing an income within the first 6 months, 2 years, 3 years, that is so normal. I think people, when they get in the social media world, they think that they can make money even if you have 100,000 followers and you're not making any money. That's so normal. So just keep going at it and being patient.
Would you say that was the biggest lesson and obstacle you had to learn from the beginning?
Yes, for sure. Especially because I had to do jobs like to make money and pay my rent. I had to do jobs that I absolutely hated. I was doing social media for other companies as well. And so it was hard to be like, oh yeah, I'm posting for so-and-so on Facebook and growing their fitness company. I remember doing that my first year because I needed to make money. So I wasn't making any money for my own brand, which was really tough. And then I got a job on Fox Sports West, a show that aired on Fox Sports West and Prime Ticket. And it was like $300 a week. So like living in LA, it was really hard.
That's maybe your Ubers for 1 week, right?
It was like maybe a dinner, maybe my groceries for the 2 weeks. Like, I don't know. It was hard.
When was that aha moment where you were like, okay, I can do this. I can do this.
I think my aha moment was being signed to Muscle Milk, which was 5 years ago now, I want to say 4 years ago. And it was no money, basically, compared to what I was doing for them. And I was like their rep and I had to do all these posts, but it was a year sponsorship. And to me, that was like, oh my God, a year sponsorship. I don't care if I'm making $100 a month. This is it. And now I look back and I'm really grateful for that, because I learned how to work with a brand for, as a sponsorship deal and create content and doing sponsored posts and stuff, because, as a really low rate that they're like paying me as I would be making now. It was like, I got my feet wet. I understood what it was like to actually be an influencer. And I think for me, especially, like, people thought I was making more money than I really was. I was making no money, but I would post brands in hopes that other brands would think I would be paid. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So if you are a content creator out there, start collabing with brands for free, because no one knows if you're getting paid or not.
That's such a good tip. And, I think it's this illusion, right? Instagram, a highlight reel, an illusion of what you want others to think of you, what you want others to feel, what you want to put out into the world. And so, I mean, there's something so special about being very naive when you start out and grateful and appreciative of like $10 or a $50 deal, right? And so even though it is very special to at that beginning stage, what do you know now that you wish you would have known at the beginning?
Man, I wish I knew that it was going to take so much time to get to where I was. I feel like our generation is like, we want it the next day, we want it the next week, or even within the year. I would say like just keep persevering and don't get too caught up about the number of followers and likes you have. We all still do to this day. And in social media, it never ends. Like I remember being, having 15,000 followers and being like, once I make it to 100K, end all be all, I'm done. My career's over. Now I'm at 300K on Instagram. And I'm like, okay, once I make it to 500K, end all be all, so it never ends. And I really wish I realized that earlier because, you have to be patient with yourself and know what you're doing. If you think that you can help other people, your career will get off the ground. I'm sure you understand that as well, like doing all these like camps and stuff for gymnasts and being inspiring to so many women all over the world and girls. And so if you think you can help others, keep going. Sometimes my words don't like.
No, I'm like shaking my head. I'm like, preach, girl.
Yeah.
Because I feel the same thing. Like if you have good intention with what you're doing, like the world needs more good people, right? And if you believe that what you're doing is good, it doesn't matter how hard it is. You should continue that. Is that what you're trying to say?
Exactly what I'm trying to say. Thank you. If you have good intention and you think your content can help others, keep doing it.
Well, I started following you on Instagram because we became friends. But I think if we weren't friends, I would still want to follow you on Instagram because you have such great tips. You are very inspiring. And I think my favorite reason of why I like to follow you is because you do a really good job of balancing that idealistic fitness life with reality. It's not hardcore. I'm, no offense to vegans, but like I'm vegan. I only eat this. I never eat bread. I never drink alcohol. It's like, whoa, sometimes that can become really overwhelming. And that's not, I think, realistic for most people. And I love seeing you like grinding it out during the week, working on your content, working out, and then on the weekends, like enjoying yourself and having fun. So why is that important for you to show both sides?
Well, I think most importantly, there is absolutely no way I could ever restrict myself and not have fun in my life because life is way too short, not to be cliche, but you have to enjoy your life. And, caring so much about a six pack or perfect booty and, everything like that. Life is too short to be worrying about that and worrying about like so many extra calories and all of a sudden. I mean, obviously be healthy and choose healthiest options as you possibly can. If you're going out and you're drinking, 17 beers on a Saturday, maybe you should try 2 tequila sodas instead and always swap out for the healthier version, which I try to do, but I could never restrict myself. And I've definitely tried, being an athlete, especially like my first few years in college, I was such a hardcore person and I wasn't happy. I did not like the way I looked. I didn't like the way I felt. And I realized if you have that balance in your life and you really enjoy life in moderation, you have that glass of wine, you eat intuitively. If you want fried rice, pizza, have it, enjoy it because life is too short. I think that's my honest answer. And it sounds so cliche and basic, but I love the motto. I'm so lame. I love the motto, work hard, play hard, because why are you even working so hard if you can't play that hard? Again, so lame, but like, that's just how I live my life right now. Honestly, Sam, I'm so hungover. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm hungover right now and I'm probably still going to work out around like 4 p.m. I created a habit for myself where, if I want to have fun, I have to get after it the next day.
I love that. And that's how it should be, right? You should enjoy your life. No, I can't tell you're hungover. Yes, I want to know, is there such thing as fried rice pizza?
No fried rice or pizza.
Oh, okay. I was like, wow, I've tried a lot of things. I have not tried fried rice.
That though.
That would be amazing. But yeah, I think that you have taught yourself those habits. And now it's ingrained in you too of like, okay, even on my worst day or feeling really hungover, I'm going to get myself to work out. Maybe it's not my hardest workout, but I'm going to feel better. So the next day I'll feel even better than that. What's that pep talk in your head that gets you to that point?
Yeah. And I do get that question a lot, asking like, how do you get motivated every single day? Like, what if you're tired? And I'm not motivated every single day. Today is a day that I am not motivated whatsoever to work out. I'm actually dreading it. But because it's a part of my habit and a part of my routine, I'm going to do it. And so I know how much better I feel after a workout. Like I feel a little bit groggy right now, but once I start that workout, just 5-10 minutes in, I'm going to start feeling so much better, so much more positive, and, just more accomplished and productive. And I know this sounds possibly kind of bad, but whenever I skip a few days of a workout, I feel bad about myself. And not in a way that's like, oh my gosh, I'm so bummed about myself that I didn't work out. And I don't get mad. It's more like I feel just like kind of groggy, kind of lazy, not as productive. And so it's just honestly the feeling afterwards that I get.
Yeah, I resonate with that for sure. Talking about you as an influencer, we can't talk about that without talking about the trolls. So what would you say the most common thing that you get trolled about on social media?
I would definitely have to say that I will be always compared to my mom, which is totally fine. If you didn't know, if you're listening to this, my mom had her own TV show for 25 years. She sold like VHSs, DVDs, and she was like, in quotes, America's favorite fitness expert in the 90s. And so her followers are very loyal to her. And for some reason, a lot of them are really mean to me. They go off on me because they're like, you'll never be your mom. Your mom is so much better than you. I get a hate comment saying that every single day, whether it's any social media platform, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Snapchat, I will get a hate comment comparing myself to her. And to be honest, it kind of affected me in the beginning, but it really doesn't bother me anymore, actually at all, because I know I'll never be my mom. But at the same time, my mom will never be me because she had her glory. I mean, she's still obviously going and she's amazing, but her glory days were in the VHSs, the DVDs, TV. She had her own TV show, fitness show at 7 a.m. on ESPN. When can that ever happen these days? It's so different and everything is switched to digital. No one really ever would do a workout show, a scheduled workout show on ESPN anymore, or buy a VHS or a DVD. And so it's really incomparable. If you think about how the world has changed in the fitness industry, you really can't compare us. And we're very, very vastly different. And I think our workouts are vastly different. My mom's workouts were very low impact and yoga, Pilates-esque. And so, yes, of course we're different. She definitely inspired me to be in the fitness industry. But yeah.
I think that would be strange if you were exactly like your mom.
Yeah, no,
we're thinking about it like that. I mean, it's great that you're your own person, and I can only imagine that the pressure that others may have put on you, kind of joining her spotlight in that way. But she has been there, done that. And so if we're thinking about her as your mentor, what's some of the best advice she's given you about being in the spotlight?
Very cliche, but always be yourself. Being true to yourself is really, really important. She always has taught me that. And honestly, my mom and dad both have the best advice. And I would say that longevity is key, is what they always told me. Don't do anything for an easy cop out. Never just do anything quickly and spur of the moment. Think of your long-term career at all times. If you think a brand deal looks good in the month of October, but you're iffy about it in November, cancel it. Don't do the brand deal. If it's not true to yourself, then don't do it. Always think about where you want to be in 5 years, in 10 years, and how you can build as a whole your career, your entire life. And I think that's a really cool part about both my mom and dad's career. Their longevity of it is crazy. If you look at like how well they built out, they're still going. That my dad's 67, my mom is 63, and they're still both fully in their careers. And so I think that's really inspiring to go off of.
Absolutely. You mentioned brand deals, and there's a lot that goes into deciding whether you want to take a brand deal or not. So obviously you just mentioned being true to yourself. Is there other criteria for you to decide whether you're going to take a deal or not?
Yes, I would have to say I always have to try the product first. So if someone's like, if I've never tried the product and they reach out to me, I'm like, give me a few weeks to try it, send it to me first. And if I like it, I'll promote it. If I can see myself organically, putting it into my day-to-day routine or, eating the product, whatever it is, at least once a week, then I'll promote it. And especially if it's something healthy or alcohol related, or I just got a brand deal with Fabletics, and something like that is so true to me because I wear activewear every single day. It's colorful, it's bright, it's cute, and it's affordable. And so some like brands, if they align with what you already are thinking, then I'll definitely take it. And I even take brand deals that are lower than I should, and definitely deny brand deals for, like, I just denied a cool sculpting brand deal for 15 grand. And my friends are like, oh my God, how could you turn down $15,000? Like, that's insane. And I'm like, but I've never cool sculpted. I don't think it works. And no, like, it just doesn't align with who I am. And so absolutely not. I don't even care if it's 15 grand because I'm not going to lie to my followers. So I'll definitely have to try out the brand. If I never would ever use it, then I'll never promote it.
Gotcha. Those are really good tips for everyone listening and you're wanting to go the content creator or the influencer route. I mean, it's amazing. And I think that's why you've grown such a great following, is because all of your followers really trust what you say and that it's authentic. And I think with so many, it's an oversaturated market right now, the influencer world. And with so many out there, you really do have to be true to yourself because that's how you're going to continue to grow in this world. Get Fit with Katie started, and now you've obviously branched into a bunch of ancillary projects. How do you balance it all?
I don't. I'm going to be honest. I don't balance it all whatsoever. I am tired a lot, and people always ask me how I have so much energy. And sometimes I really don't. I went to bed, like last week, I would go to bed at like 8:30 p.m. because I was just so exhausted from working so much. And I'm so excited because for the last few years, I've been working by myself, editing, customer service, strategy, like everything by myself. I hired someone this week to help me. And I think it's really, really important for especially girls our age to understand when we have help, because I always see other Instagram influencers or other people and I'm like, how do they get everything done? Like, it's insane. And I beat myself up to the core when I don't get stuff done, and I feel so behind on my work constantly. And I always now want to say I have help. I hired someone this week. She's about to start working for me. So to be transparent about that and ask for help when you need it is really important. But I will say it's hard to give it up because our businesses and our jobs are our babies. So it's going to be really hard. But I would say prioritizing ever since, the last few years, balancing and just like prioritizing what's most important and what will get me a step closer to where I want to be tomorrow, and trying to like focus on smaller projects.
Taking that next step to having a little bit more freedom, I think it takes a lot because, like you mentioned, you kind of have a chokehold on your brand. It's your baby. You've created it. So what roles and responsibilities are you going to start her out with?
So my first role and responsibility for her would be how to grow a YouTube channel. So right now I'm almost about to hit 100K on YouTube, and I would love for her to like help me grow that. And then she's going to like reach out to brands, help me like reach out to media outlets and do my customer service, send out my fitness products. And so that's how I'm starting her out. And then she's going to learn how to do the back end of my app, because I do all that right now. I do the back end of my app and my site, and it takes over my entire life. And so I'll teach her that eventually. But yeah, I'm excited. She sounds really awesome and really motivated. And I was just looking for someone with really high energy. And to be honest, someone I could be a friend with, because I work alone every single day and I'm really lonely. I'm sitting in my studio apartment right now working alone. And so just having a friend to work with is going to be really awesome.
That is going to be cool. I'm going to write that down, taking a page out of your book, because I might need to do that sooner rather than later also.
Yeah, do.
But I respect your hustle. I see it on Instagram every single day. I know you said that you don't always get it all done, but do you have a strategy for scheduling your days so you can have optimal productivity?
I would say waking up early right now has been my main goal, to kind of make sure I'm productive throughout the day and getting the workout done when I wake up. I love doing a morning workout just because I have more energy to accomplish everything else that I want to do in the day. If I wait, like today, I'm waiting until like the afternoon because I just like woke up a little tired. I'm just not as productive, and I just don't feel like I'm doing everything that I can accomplish. So if I wake up before 7 a.m. and get my workout in before 8 a.m., I can get so much more done that way.
Gotcha. Cool. And you have that little extra boost throughout the full day because you know that you already worked out.
Yes. It's the best feeling.
Exactly. So you always look like on Instagram, you have the most amount of confidence. And we all know people that look like they have the most amount of confidence still have to work on that every single day. What's a tip for you to have as much confidence as you possibly can?
I have not always been a confident person, and I will be honest about that. In middle school and high school, I was I had very low self-esteem. And when I say very low self-esteem, I had the lowest self-esteem ever. My best friends were just here over the weekend from home, and they were like telling me funny stories about how I used to ask them not to wear makeup when we went out on Friday nights. And so I could put on makeup so I could be just a little bit pretty as them. And I just look back and I'm like, that is so sad. I really wish I could tell my 16-year-old self that everything is going to be okay and work out and you are going to be perfectly fine in your life. But I think realizing that not everything comes from looks and being, society standard of beautiful is like very, very important. I think in high school, that was really hard for me to live up to, because I just like looked at beautiful models all the time. And so once I learned that I am so much more powerful by being smart, funny, because I think I'm funny.
You are funny.
A good friend, loyal, and I have all these other attributes. It takes away from being beautiful on the outside. And, you describe your own beauty. Beauty means something different for every single person. And I think I'm beautiful, and that's all that really matters. It doesn't really matter what anyone else thinks. It took me years to understand that, and I still have to say that sometimes to myself and do my daily affirmations for sure. But I will say, if I ever start, getting low on confidence, it's only because I'm comparing myself to other girls. And so once I stop comparing myself to all these Instagram girls, it becomes a lot easier for me to focus on myself.
How do you get out of that cycle of comparing yourself to others? I mean, I get down that rabbit hole too of looking at even my friends. Like I have friends that are models. I have friends that are 6 feet tall. I'm 5 foot. On my prettiest day, I'm not going to be 6'1", or anything like that. And it's so hard to compare yourself when, let's say they're using a filter and you're not sure if they are or not, or they have, some plastic surgery done, or just this warped world that we live in. It's hard when you go down that rabbit hole. How do you manage that?
Well, I do think a lot of things that you see on Instagram are fake and are lies. And, you can see when someone photoshops something or people only post the prettiest photos of themselves, and you have to realize that and you have to understand that. But also, I think something that really has helped me is knowing that if someone else is so beautiful, that doesn't take away from your beauty. So, there are millions and millions of beautiful, stunning, perfect women out there. But why does that take away from you? So understanding that there can be a lot of other people in your same category who are crushing it. And there is room for every single person in the world. There's room for you in the fitness industry. There's room for you in, the modeling industry. And so, just realizing that you can still be accomplished and successful and beautiful without hurting another person's feelings or putting someone else down.
Preach, girl. I wish you could repeat that 100 times over. And, I 100% fully agree with you. And I don't know if it's because we were both on a team and we like understand the value of working together and teamwork. I mean, you and I are in similar industries, and I love supporting you on social media and in real life and on stuff like this. And so I really do think that there's something in the iron sharpens iron where a lot of people say, women shouldn't compete. Don't compete with each other. But I don't think competing is a bad thing. It's not mean. It's kind of making other people rise to the occasion. I mean, when I see you crush it, I'm like, man, Katie's doing a workout. I got to work out today because of you. You're inspiring me.
I completely agree. And especially being women in sports, I saw a lot of competition early on when I tried to get in the sports industry. And it wasn't for like two girls in particular that were like so open to me. And like, I wanted to learn from them, and they were so kind to me. And I was like, wait, not everyone is competitive and hates each other as being a woman in sports, because, there's only one or two spots for a TV show for a woman, or, so many different gigs. And I think one, like when Ashley Brewer, do you know who that is?
Yeah.
Ashley Brewer and Carrie Champion, they were both so nice to me and so inviting to me when I first started getting involved in the sports world. And I was like, wait a second, girls and women are actually really nice. And it changed my entire perspective.
Yeah. And I got to give a shout out to both of them because they've been good friends too. Ashley obviously went to USC, and I got to give UCLA a little shout out with Carrie.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, I totally agree. And I feel like I always have this pressure now to pass it on to girls that are just now graduating, because sometimes you just need that pep talk from someone that's been there, done that.
Yes. Pass it on to the next generation. You have no idea how much you can impact another girl's life, because Carrie Champion, I'm not even kidding you. Like, I only met her one time, and the advice she gave to me has stuck with me forever. Same with Ashley Brewer. Like, I literally remember going to host something for Fox at a Chargers pre-camp thing, and I talked to her for 5 minutes. Her words and her advice has stuck with me for 2.5 years now. And so you've no idea how much of an impact you can make, even with just a 5-minute phone call. What
did they say to you?
Ashley Brewer said to me, I remember being like so bummed about like not getting enough jobs in sports and like just wanting to do more. And she was like, do it yourself. Don't get an agent, because I was talking to her about like getting an agent and stuff and like help book me deals and stuff. And she was like, just hustle. That's all you have to do. All you have to do is email a lot of people. It's all based on your connections. Get lunch with people, get coffee with people, connect, network. And I was like, yes. Okay. And I'm not kidding you. I have emailed ever since then. I email brands. I send out so many emails. I made a media kit. I made a reel. I sent it all out myself. And so knowing that you can do it without an agent, without help, because you are just so willing to put yourself out there is really important.
I love hearing that too, because I think it's very easy for maybe one of your followers to look at what you have on social media and just be like, oh, she has people for that, or, oh, she has an agent, or she has, and maybe you do have some of those things now, but you didn't start out with that. You Googled how to make a media kit. What's a press kit look like? What's this, And I feel like that's a lot of what you and I do, is that Googleable, and figure it out. Right?
Figure it out. And honestly, I still don't have an agent to this day. Never really have. Haven't ever for any of my sports hosting jobs, actually ever. I have DM'd people before. I follow producers on Instagram. I'll follow people and then just reach out. Like, I remember I had this like one job and at the Super Bowl a few years ago, and I brought a business card. And I met someone from Yahoo, and I literally asked for his email, and I emailed him that coming like Monday or Tuesday. So just reach out and put yourself out there. I think is the best advice for any field you want to get into.
It's awesome. Well, you obviously have so much going on with fitness and with YouTube, broadcasting, TikTok, all of the things. But what career project is your favorite right now?
I am working on something really special with my mom. And I can't say anything about it, but I will tell you that it could be launching anytime from December to April. I don't even know when it's going to launch, but I've been working on a few projects with my mom, and I think that this is definitely my most exciting, just because it's really cool to do a project that will resonate with so many different generations of women.
Awesome.
Because I think the mother-daughter bond and connection is so relatable to every single girl, daughter, mother out there. And so to create something that's really going to be special and to show our bond, I'm really excited about.
Awesome. Very cool. So other than that secret project, what's the next steps in your career?
Next step, I hired someone. I'm working on my app updates. And to be honest, this is the first time in my life that I am so content where I am. And it feels like really good. And every time I like look back, and I always want to be at the next step, I always want to be doing something better. I feel content right now. And I feel like I don't have to have a 5-year plan at the moment. And I feel like that goes against everything that I was saying in this entire podcast. But at the same time, like, it is important to also be okay with where you are. And I'm really proud of the fact that I'm not pushing myself insanely to the next level to always do something different. And I'm actually happy, not happy, obviously, with everything that's going on. It's terrible. We have a global pandemic in the world, but it really taught me to slow down and to be happy with where I am. And so the past few months, I really realized that.
That's amazing. And it's not even over yet, right? So I think even next year, I'm really curious to have those conversations with my friends and with other mentors of like, what did you learn over quarantine? And I feel like I'm going to imagine a lot of people are going to say that of it taught me to slow down, take a deep breath, enjoy the flowers.
Totally. I mean, I used to travel like you. I used to travel every single week. I was never home for more than 5 days at a time. And now I'm like, I don't ever really want to do my workout tour again. Like, I'm happy with where I am right now. And so I love being home. I love LA. And so it's really taught me to embrace everything that I have.
Very cool. All right, we're moving on to the next segment of our show called Ask a Friend. So for all of you listeners out there, if you're wondering how to ask a question on the show, go to the website, ihavecoolfriends.com. You can see my number at the top of the screen and leave me a voicemail with your business, wellness, and personal development questions. So I curated 3 questions for you, Katie. The first one is from Abby from Nebraska. She said, "What's your best tip for fitting a workout into your busy schedule?"
I would just say wake up 30 minutes earlier, and it doesn't need to be a workout that's 45 minutes to an hour, something that's going to completely take up your day's worth and so much time. And I think that's why I love in-home workouts. You can do a 20-minute workout and still get in a great workout and feel so good. Or 10 minutes here and there. Little things really add up, like walking. I love to walk. I think it's super underrated. Again, super basic, but like taking the stairs instead of an elevator, or if you're cooking dinner, try to do 50 squats as you're waiting for your water to boil. So don't be afraid of doing little things and little swaps, because they really do add up.
All right, Abby, I'm going to expect to see a video of you cooking and doing squats after this interview, and tag me and Katie. Sydney from California says, "In a saturated industry like social media, what's your secret to getting noticed?"
I think providing content that can be shared. So I always think about what type of video or photo would someone want to send to their friends. And I think that's what you need to, if you're creating content, of course, be very consistent about it. I try to create at least 10 pieces of content every day, whether it's a story, a Snapchat, or TikTok, you know what I mean? No matter what it is, a blog or a newsletter, be consistent. Have a little bit of a strategy behind what you're posting. Don't just like post, a plant just to post a plant. What's the strategy behind it? What are you giving your audience? Always try to give your audience either a tip, a brand that you like, or something that can provide them value. If you can provide value, then you are going to be perfectly awesome.
Are you serious? You do 10 pieces of content a day?
Yeah.
For people listening that are not quite sure what that means, that is a ton.
Well, I mean, a story too. Like today, I've already done like probably 5 stories. I uploaded a YouTube video. I did Snapchat. I did a TikTok, to save it for later for a brand deal. So yeah, I not only, sometimes I shoot a lot of content in a day, like Thursday, Friday, I'm shooting. And last week I shot a lot. And so I edited all my content. I've been editing since like 7:30 a.m. today. So I'm editing today. So yes, I did already probably create 10 pieces of content today.
Okay.
That's anything out there though.
Okay. So you bulk create and then you post at least 10 a day.
Like, okay. I'm not, look at me right now. I'm not I'm not shooting anything. I'm not filming anything today.
You look beautiful no matter what you're wearing, Katie.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So how far in advance do you content plan then?
I would say a week for sure. Sometimes like a day, but other times like a week. So I recorded probably 4 workout videos last week, and that will take me all the way through the end of next week.
Gotcha. Cool. All right. Katie in New Jersey asks, you have so much going on with your career. How do you let loose?
I love to drink alcohol.
That's going to be the quote of the show. Katie Austin loves to drink alcohol. What's your drink of choice?
I love tequila. I love beer. I love rosé. I also need to slow down, and I understand that. And my mom always says to me, you just like don't need to drink every time you go to dinner. And I'm like, you know what, Mom? Love that you say that, but I do. Just kidding. No, I probably drink only 2 nights a week, 3 nights a week. On average, 2 nights a week. Never, I do not drink alcohol Monday through Thursday. I really, really, really try to not. Last week, I had 8 best friends in town, and so it was a little different. It was my birthday, and they like to drink, and I have not seen them in like 2 years. Anyways, I
feel like this is turning into an AA meeting. Like, please tell us, please confess all of your drinking habits. Do you want to talk about it?
I never drink alone. I don't think I've really ever drinking alone. I drink socially, and I do it only 2 times a week. And so, I never am the type of girl to drink wine sitting on my couch watching Netflix. That doesn't interest me. I'd rather save it for like a date or like a fun night out with my friends.
Okay. Well, you don't have to shun the people that do like that, Katie. Some of us over here like to drink wine.
Of course, do everything you want to do. But I know, like, say it's a Tuesday night. I know I'm drinking on Friday, so I'm not going to drink till Friday.
That's smart. That's a good way to plan it. That's good. Yeah, that's a good way. And that's how you like to let loose.
I do. That is honestly how, yes.
And then you're ready to go. Hit the ground running Monday morning.
Yes. Yes. You have no idea how many live workouts in quarantine I've taught hungover. It's unbelievable. My friends think I'm a little bit psycho. They're like, I don't know how you do it. You go to bed at 3 a.m. drunk and you wake up at 7 to teach a 7:30 a.m. workout.
I know you're a fitness expert, but do you have any hangover tips for all of us?
Absolutely not. I'm chugging a massive bottle of water right now, and that is my only advice. Water, water, water. Sleep.
All right.
Vitamin C.
Well, when I come back to LA, we'll have to do a margarita night.
Please. Yes. I can't ever turn that down.
Yeah. All right, great. So moving on, this is called I Have Cool Recs. So since you're one of my cool friends, I'm also assuming that you have cool recommendations for all of us. So do you have a book recommendation that you're currently loving?
I don't really read as much as I should, but I'll get back to you on that question.
Okay. All right. What about podcast?
I would have to say Rookie's podcast, my very own podcast, is a great recommendation. Is that allowed?
Yeah, that's definitely allowed. So tell us what Rookies is about.
Okay, so Rookies is a podcast that I created with one of my best friends, and we talk a little bit about sports, sports entertainment, pop culture, and a lot into our dating life.
I'm laughing because I just could see you and Hannah talking about your dating life for like 5 days straight.
It gets a little crazy, I'll tell you that.
Okay, a TV show or movie recommendation?
Ooh, a TV show. I just watched my favorite TV show I've ever seen. I'm so dramatic, but it's called Love Life. It's on HBO.
I've never heard of that.
Oh my gosh, y'all. If you are hopeless romantic like I am, watch that. I'm obsessed. Okay.
All right, cool. And then do you have a recommendation for us to follow a friend of yours that is maybe doing something cool that you want to hype up?
Yes. One of my really good friends from college, Victoria Garrick, she is doing amazing things. I mean, I'm so proud of her. She is so inspiring. She really helps girls all over the world to accept their flaws and gain confidence. She's all about body positivity and like showing the real. She has this thing called #RealPost. And she just really created an entire brand around body positivity. So I'm so proud of her.
Awesome. Well, in this crazy world where it seems like so many people are trying to tear you down or have too much time on their hands to be way too opinionated on social media, it's nice that your friends like Victoria are building people up and spreading kindness and positivity, because that's all I want to be doing on here. And I know you feel the same way.
Yes, for sure.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Katie, for being on the show and sharing your knowledge with all of us. How can listeners follow you or find you on social media?
You can find me on social media just at Katie Austin. It's just my name. And then a lot of my other social medias are just my name as well, Katie Austin. And then I have over 140 workouts on the Katie Austin app that are completely on demand and follow along workout videos.
Cool. We will link everything to all of your social channels. So if you're missing it on here, just check the website and we'll connect you to Katie. Thank you again for spending time and sharing your knowledge.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And thank you to all of you guys that are listening. Don't forget to use the friend line to ask your questions about business, wellness, and personal development. And make sure to subscribe to the podcast, leave a comment, and get in on the follow-up conversation on our Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube channel. So we'll see you next week for another new episode. Bye.